everyone. Welcome back to the Franz Experience. I am your host. We have kicked off season 2 and we've had some amazing guests. First and foremost, go ahead and follow us at www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you were definitely bumped on course. And the mission, that mission is possible. First and foremost, happy Women's Month. It is March. And what better way to celebrate us by diving into some self-love. You see these diamonds I have on? There's all representation of who is next to me, this beautiful goddess over here. She's all furred up and decked out. And I mean, what better way to represent? This is Danielle McLane, also known as Diamond. Diamond is the CEO and founder of Diamond Beauty Cosmetics. Not only is she the CEO and founder, she's a Penn, University of Penn alumni, grad with a degree in finance. She's also made her own makeup line. Not only is she an artist, she's an entrepreneur with in chemistry, okay? She has made some products that'll make you just feel luxurious and like the queen that you are. She does a lot of weddings. She's also done Vogue. She's done Fashion Week. Her product has been displayed on the Fashion Week in New York. She's been all over, but I just want to introduce her to the Franz Experience and to you guys out there. Welcome, Danielle McLane, also known as Diamond, to the Franz Experience. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Fran. I really, really appreciate this. I really do. And
Oh,
to everyone else.
oh, I'm very happy to have you on. So everyone, I'll just share quickly. So you never know who you're going to run into in the space of self-love and self-care. We have run into each other in lifetime in the gym, and we have just built this bond. Hearing this woman's story about how she got into the makeup industry, and it's just amazing going from a finance degree at University of Penn. I'm sure, listen, she had to have already been a smart cookie, okay? And shout out to University of Penn. My son goes there as well. But she's a smart cookie, so you already know that she's going to go above and beyond to make her mission possible. So, Danielle, tell us, and I'm going to call you, what do you want to go by, Diamond or Danielle? Either one is beautiful.
Whichever is comfortable for you, because they call me both.
Okay.
Friends, family call me Danielle, but the industry calls me Diamond. So whichever is comfortable.
We want to make this intimate, okay? We want to make this intimate, and we want this to be more of a friends and family environment, okay? The industry is always there, and I know her as Danielle as well, but I'm very respectful of what people want to be called by these days because that's their brand. And look at her, she wears it very well.
Thank you. Thank
Very,
you.
very well. So when we met, and we were, working out together and hustling and bustling, and we were trying to get that self-care, self-love just in check. And she shared a little bit about her cosmetic line. And I want to just dive right in and asking y'all to share with us a little bit about how she got started in this industry, about how she became bumped on course. And before she shares that, I do want her to go ahead and share her website with you guys so you can follow her and see what's going on in her world and how you can be a part of it. So, Danielle, please take over the floor.
Sure. So my website for my cosmetic line is www.diamondbeautiescosmetics.co. My website for my academy is www.diamondsbeautyacademy.com. My portfolio is www.diamondbeauty.press. You guys can reach me on all four platforms to look at my work as well as my cosmetic line. My Instagram is diamondbeautycosmetic_boutique.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. We will also put that and display that on the screen. But tell us, Danielle, how did you get started in the industry of beauty cosmetics? How did that work?
Starting from University of Pennsylvania, I always enjoy makeup. So I was always I was the makeup queen, and that's where I got the name Diamond from. So they will always call me Diamond because I always would have the glitz and the glitter, and back then we were putting glitter on our lips for as lip gloss. So it's so weird, so ironic. We were at one of the food trucks or the food stations, and they literally they called me Diamond. They were like, "You are a diamond," and then ever since then, people just call me Diamond. Like, "Oh, here comes Diamond. Oh, here comes Diamond. Oh, here comes Diamond." So once I graduated, I started to do makeup while I was in school, high school and college, and I came up with the name Diamond Beauty. And Diamond Beauty is, diamonds are forever. And so that's where the name the diamond comes from. Beauty is because beauty is more than skin deep. So, and because I do makeup, and the reason for me doing makeup is just not to do makeup to deserve an income, is to do makeup to make women feel beautiful and empowered. So that is where that is how Diamond Beauty's name came about. I worked in corporate America for several years for the government, Wawa Corporate, just some to name a few. Um, Left as a C-level employee because I had a CBA stroke. I was working 17 hours a day, very stressful environment, not just for a woman, but a minority woman in corporate America. Very stressful. So, with that being said, I didn't let it deter me from who it is that I wanted to be. When they say when one door closes, another one, and I truly believe that. So, I believe that, me taking this road down with Diamond Beauty is truly my calling. So I spent years depressed. Spent years depressed. When you're coming out of an Ivy League education and you're at a C level, and in a C level position, and one day you are a CFO, and the next day you're like, you know, you had a stroke. You feel like you are, um, the word that I want to use, incompetent. I left the whole left side of my body was numb. I wasn't able to do makeup at the time. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't able to stand. I wasn't able. My cognitive level, they said, would never be the same. And the one thing that I will say that has gotten me through, that those triumph times of the tragedy and dealing with adversity is I never believed it. So even after I had it, I didn't claim it. So people would say to me like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, your mom told me what happened. I'm so sorry. And I'd be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I would literally go to my doctor. My doctor is Dr. Kimberly Richardson. I would literally go to her, and I would go just like this, friends. Furs, makeup, this is, weeks after a stroke, furs, makeup, and I'm like, listen, I got to get back into it because that's all I knew. All I knew was hustle. All I knew, I've been working since I was 14, so all I knew was work. And she's like, no, you need a break, and I've been telling you that you need a break. So you need to figure out another plan, a plan B. And that's another thing that I would like to speak on is that when we go into this world and we go into this corporate world and we just go into world in general, we never have a plan B. A plan B is major. And as I teach these classes, I teach my these girls that okay, you guys want to be in beauty, you guys want to be makeup artists, you guys want to be barbers, you guys want to do these other things. Give me a growth opportunity with inside of what it is that you want to do, and let's expand on that. And I've learned that recently, taking this, I've gotten accepted into the Goldman Sachs program, and that's where we're working on growth opportunities within your industry. So with me teaching that, the goal is to learn and to learn, and then reteach to reteach the students. So with that being said, I started in my kitchen, literally in my kitchen. I would go to Target, CVS, and it's on my Instagram page. I had a blender. My mom used to be a cake baker back in the day. So I had one of her blenders, and I took all of the highlighters and blushes, and I blend them up, and I put I made a beautiful color, which is one of my palettes that are called is Her Desire Bright and Fierce. And I made these colors, and they were highlighters, and I would put them on my cheekbones to show the radiance of highlight, because I admire J Lo for that J Lo glow.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that I was going for. So I did that. I ordered the diamonds from Amazon, sold them 5 for $20, which was huge. So everybody was, they were glad that I was out of they were glad that I was out of this depression mode, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Danielle's doing something. Okay, let's support her. Let's support her. Let's support her." So I got the support from that. I then went on to Eventbrite, and I went on to Eventbrite, and I reached out to different makeup companies and people that were hosting makeup events, and I said, "Hey, my name is Danielle. I'm Diamond Beauty, right? I'm Diamond Beauty now. We're taking it back from I've been out of school for 2004. We want a long time. So I'm Diamond Beauty. I would love to put my products into your gift bags. A young lady from the name of Vanessa Coops, who's the chief editor of Bella Magazine, reached out to me and said, "I want you to come to New York, and I want you to show your things." So I bought my things there, and I got rhinestones. I got everything is glittered out, and I had my product. And they interviewed me there. It was just an amazing experience. The one thing I learned there is that I didn't make any sales, and I was a little, I'm coming all the way to New York. I got my product here, and I didn't make any money. And at that time, it's different when you're running someone else's business opposed to when you're running your own. And because we don't take it, when you're running someone else's business, the transparency of it is that you're like, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, because it's not your own. When it's your baby, you're like, wait a minute, what? What happened? I didn't make any sales, but I met James Vincent, who um, helped with the Rihanna Fenty line. I met Dandra Simmons. I met another lady that has a podcast in Philadelphia that's doing amazing. And I was able to meet these people, and I was able to gain these connections with these people. James has been a mentor for me for the past since 2017, I want to believe. He gave me, I mean, like literally, he shouted out my makeup line. He's amazing. He works with Danessa Myrick, who is also a minority cosmetic line. So I learned a lot. I went into their IRS programs. I learned a lot from the makeup show. They introduced me at the makeup show. They invited me to all the events, and that was to learn the game, and that was to learn the foundation. Because I come from a finance world. I don't come from a beauty world. So although I know how to do makeup, I didn't know how to like really create the makeup. So it was a lot of trying to figure out formulations, hiring chemists, doing this, what type of bottles, and putting things into production. So I'm kind of like making it a little bit shorter because it's a longer version, but
Sure. Yes.
um, it came at a time where, like I said, all I know how to do is hustle, and I didn't. And mind you, I'm not just one stroking. By 2019, I done had two more that I still didn't claim. And they're serious. It's not to be played with. Like it's really not to be played with. And I sat back and I thought about in the beginning it was hustle, 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 hustle. I'm in New York, I'm in LA, I'm here, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. And I wasn't taking care of Danny. I wasn't taking care of Danielle. So Danielle wasn't the priority. You know why? Because all Danielle know how to do is hustle. So Danielle hustled. So let's fast forward to 2017. I was asked to do New York Fashion Week. And I'm like, me? And they're like, yeah, like we want to bring you up here. We want to do, New York Fashion Week. And as a matter of fact, we want to put you in Flying Solo, which is located on 420 West Broadway, which is right down the street from Chanel. And I'm like, my line. So I went up to New York. It was my first, I put my product into their store. It was amazing, amazing connections in New York. New York never does me wrong.
Mm.
And I loved it. I loved it. The pandemic hit. I opened up my store right before the pandemic. Literally, the store opened in, I think I did paperwork in like January. It happened in what, March? So the pandemic, like, you pretty much, it was hard, but we got through it. We got
Yeah.
through it because, again, the power of the tongue is very powerful. And in this journey, because this is a new journey for me, and the old me no longer exists. And that's something that, being an entrepreneur and being a person, that you have to understand is that, trauma, tragedies happen, and you have to try and overcome those trying times and that adversity and move forward. And it's hard. It's hard, especially when you're in controller positions, you're in CFO positions, you're in analysis positions. Your job all your life has been to control. So you get into this position now, and no one's, you're controlling yourself, but you kind of sort of feel insignificant.
Mm.
So currently, like I said, I got accepted into the Goldman Sachs program.
That's the 10,000,
Um,
is that the 10,
yes, yes,
10,000
the
small
10,000
business?
small business. And I
Yeah.
got through that. It's that's why I said, like, the manifestation is at its best. So I didn't start. I This manifestation journal didn't happen with me until maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. And one day, my sister is really big on it. So shout out to my sister for, and I just told her this recently, like, you are the reason why I believe now, you know? Um, she did like manifestation baths and manifestation journals and things like that. And I was like, let me try this. And so I wrote down in the beginning of the year everything that I wanted. And I said, I wanted a store on South Street. I want Diamond Beauty Cosmetics to go global. I want, I had about 4 or 5 different things. And I said, I want those things. And, and I would say it every day. I would go in my book and say, okay, Diamond Beauty Cosmetic is this. Okay, I'm going to have a store on South Street. I'm looking on LoopNet. And let me be very transparent with you, friends, because I didn't have no money. None. None whatsoever. Okay. I walked this walk as if I was $1 million company.
Mhm.
Okay. No money. Went to go look at, literally woke up in the middle of the night one day and said, now that I'm in production, I want a store.
Mhm.
Okay.
So hold
Go
on,
on Loop.
give me 1 second. I got chills because when you said so much. I just wanted to just listen and
Yeah.
listen. I want to just recap real quick, just
Mm-hmm.
quickly. But I want you to keep going because this is what
Okay.
it's about. It's about, listen, you got to maneuver in a space in your course. Like you can be bumped, but you can also see that as being bumped on course. That maybe that was a part of your plan and process, but you don't even know. But we talked on many of my sessions about manifesting
Mm-hmm.
to start there because everything that you did, you said you were a hustler, and going back to when you went to put products in your bag, you said, I didn't make any money. Immediately, what I thought was at that time, you made something even greater,
Yes.
which was
A
your
connection.
connection, the
Yep.
resources, the information. You saw, I knew finance. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
makeup. I don't know the chemistry. Do I have to learn the whole? I know periodic chart, but do I need to go there or do I need to go? Sparkle periodic chart. Okay, no, I need people. I need this.
Mm-hmm.
So that space is much different. And then also as an entrepreneur, that is very different as well because, like you said, you can respect being in a corporation and being, the leader or whatever the case may be. And yes, you believe the brand, you run it, you do everything that needs to be done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the emotional connection of having your own, there's something about knowing, okay, you still had a salary. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like you were there to just take, you were a giver, you were in that position because you had to own it and because you needed to grow the company, whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, when it comes to your own business, mentally, that type of preparation and knowing, okay, I'm doing this, I had to spend money to get here. I had to spend money on products. I'm doing this on the hopes that something big will come of this. And I know that it's not necessarily going to be like I'm saying here, can I please put this in these bags? Because I want to get the product out there. I want to get the name out. And
Mm-hmm.
want to do this because, I don't know financially yet what that's coming, but I believe it's coming.
Yeah.
And we talked about manifesting friends. Manifesting is key. You have got to write it down, put it in your phone, put a picture of it. It is manifestation is powerful.
So
And
my mirror.
Danielle talked about suffering and going through some strokes. Okay. Many of us have had some unforeseen circumstances. And listening to her talk, and she just blows past that. And I know it was a time that maybe it was a little, I want to say she paused maybe a little bit with going through and explaining her story, because again, at the end of the day, she's still going through it. But yet she's putting on her furs, she's putting her makeup on, and she said, "This not me. No, not me."
Mm-hmm.
Though she knows it's very serious. Having strokes are very serious. And again, the hustler in her is saying, "Okay, well, let's go get it. We still gotta go get it." And she's like, "Well, what's a safe way? What's a safe way? But how can I still believe in myself and not be discouraged, not be depressed?" It's possible. The mission is possible. And that's why I've been wanting to have Danielle on the show for some time, because her story, we have all been in those positions, those senior level positions, and boom, snap of a finger, everything is just wiped out. You have to reassess. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time when you're going through it, you're not thinking of anything. When you start to think about, what am I going to do next? That's when you're starting to regain your strength. Because as
Yeah.
you're going through it, there's nothing you can think about. You can just lay
Yeah.
there. There's
Yeah.
nothing. And you don't care, because all you're thinking about is, how am I going to get better? Okay, positive energy. I need to get better. I need to heal. She had to heal that whole side of her body. It wasn't, what's next? It was, I need to heal first. But when she started to feel better and say, okay, what am I going to do next? That's when you know you're starting to feel better. That day
Mm-hmm.
you start to have just that thought. You know you're feeling better. And I'm gonna turn it back over to her, but I just wanted to recap some of those most powerful and critical moments that
Mm-hmm.
she shared. She shared so much. You may have to go back and listen to it again,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of see how that plays out. We don't always know our course. We don't.
Nope.
We can
Nope.
embrace it though. We can respect that it happened to us. We can adapt to our new norms. However, we can also take it and say, okay, well, this is a part of my course. This is my new norms, and
Mm-hmm.
forward. But I just had to just recap on that powerful message on
Mm-hmm.
manifestation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
go back. You got it. Back on to you.
All right.
Over.
Um, so going back to manifestation, I didn't believe, like I didn't believe it. People talk about karma. People talk about what you put in is what you get out, and I'm just like, whatever. And you know what it is? Let me tell you, the most valuable experience that I learned, and this is something else that I spoke to my sister about a couple of weeks ago, is that the most valuable experience that I learned from this was that it humbled me. It humbled me a lot. I come from an urban area. I was privileged to to go to University of Pennsylvania. And it's a privilege that a lot of people don't get. And you take advantage of those privileges. But one thing that I learned is that the God humbled me. He humbled me because I was literally a finance executive on C level on a Thursday, and on a Monday, I felt like I was insignificant and didn't have anything. So it in a way it trained me to be who I am today. So I'm very humble. I'm very grateful. I have grace for people. I'm not the same person that I was. And like I said, if we're getting into transparency, I was high on my horse. I was high on my horse. I was 32, 31, C-level positions, first woman in my region, first black woman in my region, so I had a little, a chip on my shoulder, but also it was stressful because I had to work even twice as harder. And regardless of how light I am, I'm still a black woman. So it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. So
And
the power of the
let's be clear, people, that you have to have some level of confidence about yourself in those levels of positions. Believe me, I know. And many of you
Mhm,
know that you have to have a level of confidence. It's a fine line between, being like super high on a horse, as she stated, and versus, being very confident, because you have to be. It's a
mhm,
constant thing about fighting for your position. And it's
mhm,
not necessarily something that we always want to do. We shouldn't have
mhm,
to. We have proven
mhm.
ourselves over and over again. However, it's every day we wake up, you have to prove yourself
Yeah.
even even more to retain the position that you have earned, more so than some others, unfortunately. So,
Mhm.
sorry, just to kind of add to
No,
that. Yes.
yeah. And so I began to manifest and I said, this is mine. I am resilient. I am beautiful. My company is successful. I have a store on South Street. And I spoke these things, I spoke them and I said, I so the thing with manifestation is that you can't just put things out there. You have to actually believe that it's attainable. And I'll get into that because when I did South Street, I went on LoopNet, got the realtor, went down South Street, was not in the best financial situation to do it, but I got it. And you know why? Because I claimed it already. I didn't even have it was so many other people there. I didn't even care about those people because I claimed it. Following a year later, I said, you know what? I want to do an academy because I want to teach children and children with disabilities on how to do makeup and the fundamentals of makeup. And there's a lot of that I learned in here. And one of the things I teach my girls is how you present yourself in conduct. You know, conduct. How you conduct yourself is very, very important. So fast forward to that. The store was good, everything was moving, but it still was, I'm still hustling and bustling. And I'm still not taking care of Danny though. Not taking care of Danielle. I'm working. I'm grinding, I'm working, I'm hustling, I'm bustling. Because guess what? I still didn't believe I had a stroke, right? So one day I literally sat down and I said to myself, this was after a New York Fashion Week. And I did New York Fashion Week and I was down for 4 days in my bed. My girlfriend's a registered nurse, came over here. She's giving me IVs, drips, hydration, everything. And I said, if Danny is not good, the company won't be good. So Danny has to make sure Danny is good. And everyone said that to me, but I'm like, whatever, whatever, because I have that hustling spirit. So I came to a conclusion where, and I literally said, I don't know who just interviewed me and they asked me this. They said, what made your life different in regards to the stroke, the words though now you are at peace? I said, because I sat down with myself and I had a conversation with myself. And I said, you know what? If my body is telling me that it's not to be done, it's not to be done. I'm not forcing it. I'm not forcing it. I had a long week. I did what I was supposed to do. Maybe everything didn't get done, but guess what? I'm not going to burn Danny out because Danny is the face of this company. Danny has a lot more things that she's trying to do in regards to Diamond Beauty, and now it's about giving back. Now it's about taking everything that I have learned and instilling into our children who are the future, and which is why I started the Diamonds Beauty Academy.
So,
So there,
so with your girlfriend coming over that weekend, the nurse giving you IVs, was that the time where you had that talk with yourself and saying,
that was the
I
epiphany.
need to change?
Yep, it's something has to give because if not, I was going to a repeat because every other year it wasn't major strokes, but it was mild strokes. Or every year I'm in the hospital for dehydration, or I'm in the hospital because I'm having migraines, and migraines bring on stroke, so they want to make sure that they're keeping you there for 5 days because now you already had a stroke. So it was an epiphany that said, you know what, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna relax and I'm gonna chill and I'm not going to take, because I was chasing the money. So once you learn to not chase the money is when you become free.
Mm.
Don't chase the dollar. The dollar's gonna come. Because guess what? We already manifested it. I say every morning, money comes to me in abundance. It's on my phone. I have a mantra every morning that says, "I attract money easy and effortlessly. I am worthy of financial success. I attract money happily in my life. Money is abundant to me. I am at peace with having it. Attracting money comes to me easily."
Mhm.
So I manifest this. And not saying that, I am exactly where I am, where I need to be. But guess what? I may not be rich in the bank, but I'm rich in my heart. And it took a long time for me to get to a point where as though the money didn't mean anything. I'm rich in spirit. So now I'm at the point in my life where as though I'm not running around doing a whole bunch of weddings and all of that, because I'm focusing on the bigger picture. I'm focusing on what we call the exit strategy. And not
There
saying
is
for
that. Yes, there is that. And then you have, but I think a lot of it is that you've done that hard work, right? You built a team. You built a team
Mhm.
of individuals. I mean,
Yes.
coming from that finance world, you know about that exit strategy. Exit strategy is pretty much the CEO, CFO, CEOs, their dream of what are they going to get for, either selling the company or their way out, exiting, whether or not somebody's purchasing it from them, family, relative, whatever the case may be, another company expanding platforms. It's that type of thing. But you've
Mhm.
built this castle,
Mhm.
this business, and you pulled in people, you put them
Mhm.
in place. And what she's saying is, she's not just saying, okay, fall back. Like, if you're just getting started in this game, you do
Mhm.
have to put in that work. You have to
Absolutely.
work. And she's put in that work is what she's saying. But
Mhm.
throughout that process of putting in that work, she realized, like, oh my gosh, you know, I need to listen to my body more. And she's put
Mhm.
things in place so that she can fall back some and just let that machine run is what she's talking about.
Mhm.
For our newer entrepreneurs out there, congrats.
Yes.
That's what she's sharing. But go ahead.
Yeah. And another thing, like you said, for the new entrepreneurs, there's some things that when you go into this that you don't know, and there are also resources that I will share with you, friends, that you can also share with your other new entrepreneurs. But the first thing that you need to do is you need to get your A team. Your A team consists of your attorney, your accountant, and your advisor. Those are your people. And you need to make sure that you have that. And in the beginning, I didn't have that. And I didn't realize that. And thank God that I never had to go through any lawsuits or anything like that. But it's very important to have those people, especially when you're negotiating contracts now at the stage that I'm at, because you need those people on your team, and it's not easy. I was a one man band. I started off a one man band. I have girls now in New York, New Jersey, some in Philadelphia now. But I started as a one man band, and what I did was I'm good at networking. So I went to New York Fashion Week and I pulled these girls, and the girls the 5 girls that are with me have been the girls that have been with me for the past 5 years. And literally, the first thing that I said to them, I said, "Listen, this is not easy. This is not easy for me. This is not easy for you. But if you stick by me, I promise you, I'm giving you my word that I'm going to make this beneficial for you." And those girls stuck by me. There was hurdles, not so much with them, but others that came in between. But that you're going to get that. You're going to get that, and you're going to learn that. You know what I mean? So it's coming from a person, and I said that coming from a finance world, I was a numbers girl. So you could put product in front of me, and we could talk about quantity and profit margins and things like that. But then when you start to get into the other things, it's just like, wait a minute, what formulations? Wait a minute, how many so it's a whole nother thing that you have to learn, and you got to take into consideration that I didn't have strokes, so now my cognitive is affected. So now it almost took me back, and it gave me triggers of what I used to be. So for a long time I struggled on who I used to be. I sat in boardrooms, like I sat on panels. I literally talked about business strategies and how to elevate and how to get here, and meetings with investors and things like that. So it because it was challenging for me, it didn't make me stop. I'm eager. I'm hungry. So an exit strategy is not exiting my company. The exit strategy is that I'm trying to build franchises. I'm trying to build universities. I'm trying to build it for people such as myself and to show them that regardless of what it is that you may go through. I've been working since I was 14 years old. I've been a mom since I was 15 years old. So anybody can do this. It's not hard. I didn't grow up, with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't grow up in a $1 million home. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the hood. So, I learned from, what we call the land. So everything that came to me, everything started to align and came full circle. So going back to that manifestation, I said, I want an academy. I want to teach. I want everything that I'm giving in because I'm a giver. My love language is giving. Everything that I give, everything that I'm receiving, I want to give back. But who do I want my audience to be? Right? Who do I want my audience to be? So I had to dig deep in that, and I want my audience to be the youth. I like dealing with the youth. I worked with Chicago Girls Inc. I'm working with Roxborough High School. I'm currently trying to get into the juvenile detention center, and I want to go into these neighborhoods where where they feel as though the kids are the problem. The kids are bad. They're disruptive. They're disrespectful. And the one thing that I mentioned in the meeting is that we gotta think about why they are this way. And we got,
Emotion.
because the kids have so much, yes, and the kids have so much talent, and not even so much emotional. They blame it on the parents, but to me, like I told them in this meeting, it's not a parental thing; it's a resource thing.
It is.
Everybody is not given the same resources. So if me and you are coming from two different backgrounds, and you have privy to SBA loans, you have privy to all these other researches where I don't even know what SBA stand for. So the other people weren't given those opportunities of knowing what it is. So what do? They act out. I'm talking in regards to the kids. They act out because they don't have nothing else to do. But if you provide these kids, and especially you look at these places like Level Up Philly, where he has this room full of kids, and that's another person that would be good for you to speak with. He has these kids, and they dance. All they do all day is dance. And if you look at them, so they look at them as dancers. I'm looking at it as them as choreographer, like backup dancers for Usher. And these are young kids, and they're from the hood, and it's like they're not given the resources to know, and not even thinking outside the box that I can go there. So what I teach my kids is that, you want to be a makeup artist, but no, we ain't talking about makeup. We're not talking about you just being a makeup artist. We talking about you owning the brand.
Your next plan. What's your next step? Yes. So I have like I'm friends. I'm on the West Coast, Southwest Coast now, but I used to be on the East Coast, and Level Up was definitely a place that I've worked with them on several occasions. And yes, I believe that a lot of our youth need resources. They need to be, because whoever it is, they have goals, they have dreams. But sometimes they're not as encouraged or inspired because they feel as though they're not going to do it. They're not going to be able to. And it's possible. When I say the mission is possible, the mission is possible. It's a lot of things. They just need help. They need guidance. They need resources. They need confirmations. They need support. And when I was talking about emotional, that's that emotional connection. A lot of times we think like, oh, they just bad. No, 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 no. They're not. They're not. We just don't wake up being bad.
Yep.
It could
Yep.
be something simple as somebody's hungry. It's like you'd be surprised at the reasons why people respond and our youth respond the way that they do. And a lot of times is because they need something. Something
Mm-hmm.
is something is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So I congratulate you on the academy. And yes, our youth is our future. And just like me, and I think that's why we vibe, is because we believe in being good. We believe in doing good and being good. And that's literally my circle. I don't care who you are out there. You
Yep.
can be the most famous of famous. But
Mm-hmm.
if you in your mission, if I'm not picking up a good feeling that, and to
Energy.
each own, I'm not here to judge you. But if I'm not feeling that you have, like, you're a part of my mission is possible and what I want to relate to the world, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be quiet and keep it moving. Networking is
Yeah.
key, but sometimes, you got to be careful with who's sharing this message, because it only takes one person to share something powerful. And I don't care, if my platform, I said to myself, my platform could be 5 people,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna feel it's 5 million and I don't have time. Like but no, I'll make time. But you have to believe it. You have to believe it. But if I get one person, just that one person that says, it changed the way I think, it changed how I moved about my day. I started to write down my goals. And guess
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this now. I'm doing
Yeah.
that. So yes, we do need we do need individuals like Danielle, Danny, to get out here to help our individuals, our youth. So
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, you mentioned so much about, and I'm just hearing the whole time, the Mission Possible, y'all.
It's possible because you
It's
know what,
possible.
friend? The one thing that I want to say is that God doesn't bless the opportunity; He blesses the assignment. So it's not the opportunity that is going to get blessed. It's the assignment. So my thing is, because I said I had a meeting with the juvenile detention center, and the one thing I said to them is that I want to teach life skills as well, because life skills comes into makeup and beauty and how you present yourself and how you look. Because when these kids leave here, if and when these kids leave here, and they feel as though that they got to go into survival mode, they're always going to remember what Miss Danny from Diamond Beauty taught them. So regardless of whatever it is that you may do, you go get a job at Wawa, you get fired. But guess what skill you had? Makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what you know how to do? Write your resume. Guess what you know how to do? Present yourself. Guess what you know how to do? Speak to people properly. And these are the things that, they don't teach you in school. There's a lot, the federal government now is putting life skills back into the school district because they see that a lot of people aren't going to college. A lot of people want to do their own thing. So now they're teaching you how to deal with life because we were never taught how to deal with life. We were taught growing up, you go to school, you go to college, you graduate from college, you work for 30 or 40 years, you retire, you die. Whereas though now these
Sum it up.
kids, yeah, these kids they go to high school, they're in trades, they're learning courses online, they're taking classes doing one thing and taking lash classes doing another. They're hitting clients such as Cardi B and like just other clients that they never even knew that they would be able to be in the room with. But you know why? It's because they know how to present yourself. Because you're never going to get conduct allowed is conduct approved. So you're never going to be able to get yourself in these positions in these situations if you don't know how to conduct yourself.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, like you can have,
Big on presentation. Mhm.
yes, you can be the richest person in the world, but not be able to get into the right room.
Mhm.
You could be the brokest person in the world and be in a room full of the richest people in the world because of how you conduct yourself. And that's the one of the things that, you know, that I have that I've learned growing up, period. But that's another thing that I learned, like I said, in terms of me growing and doing this academy and working with the youth and building a cosmetic line. I'm gonna show y'all how to do this from the ground up. And I mean the lip gloss machines where you gotta pump and tube it, and y'all gonna learn how to do it from scratch. Y'all the blueprint of just going straight to production like how they have now is not what I'm giving you. The blueprint is production shut down, you know how to run your business.
Exactly. If the machine
So,
isn't working. So you
yep.
talked a little bit about what the plan used to be, what it used to seem like. You go to high school, you go to college, you get into this position, you're there 30, 40 years, you retire, you step into something else, or you move on. So when talking about that, and we think about economically in that space of finance, you know what I'm talking about here. um the way we live now, those being in that space isn't necessarily financially getting it done, where the cost of living, economics. Okay. I was
Oh, yes.
actuarial science major. So we can go into talking about this, about how not only nowadays can you have a career and be very successful in that position, but the cost of living is going up. It's on the rise. And not only do you need to have this career, do you have a family, you need additional income. You got kids in sports and they've got dues and they've got all these things, and you're spending more than you're bringing in. She's teaching you not only just can you have your career, but how to create some residual income in addition to that for yourself. Um, in the space of makeup. She's not just telling you you have to go out and buy a product. She's telling you how to create your own product, how to be
Yes.
your own artist, how to use your own creativity. And sometimes those same processes are used in other areas. And that doesn't just have to be in makeup.
Mm-hmm.
This is Danielle, graduate of University of Penn in finance. Finance is a big portion of what you need in this world to succeed. Finance, if we look at that as a part of how we're going to make it in this world, but she's included not only just finance, she's included that information, that education, and showing you how to become an entrepreneur, whether or not it's just making a lip gloss, starting
Mm-hmm.
out at making a lip gloss
Mm-hmm.
presentation. We can flow on this show forever, and we'll have her
Mm-hmm.
at some point, because maybe she'll do something on the show to kind of give you a little bit some tips and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, she's just giving you just like basically survival skill sets. And she talked about presentation. I go into big time presentation 101, and how you present yourself, and always be prepared for the yes. Friends, be prepared for that yes, because you're manifesting that yes. Be prepared for it. So when people say, okay, what do you have? Don't freeze up. Please don't freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Mm-hmm.
moment,
Yep.
your time.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready. Mentally
Yep.
prepared. So I know she shared that. And Danielle, your story is beautiful. Like, just thinking about how you have full circle taken the trials, tribulations of your life, your very highs, and then feeling, getting kind of a little down, but still not owning it. You didn't own that. You didn't own that.
Mm-hmm.
And going into, okay, well, what's our new space that we're dealing with here? And you
Yep.
talked early on about that
Mm-hmm.
plan B. You may still have that original plan. It was something you always enjoyed doing growing up, and you
Mm-hmm.
were always that diamond beauty. And
Mm-hmm.
you implement and say, okay, so I believe that it's still a part of the process in our course. We don't exactly know how everything's going to pan out, but we're just doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, like you talked about the different schools that you're in, and getting back to what we used to call it home ex, home economics.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
learn how to sew, you learn how to do the things that they
Yep.
day to day.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not, and for our friends that, aren't very big on makeup, what she's talking about is presentation.
Yes.
Bottom line is about loving yourself. And it does come from the inside, comes from the inside out, of course. But she's not just talking for some, because there's some people that are like, oh, well, I'm not into makeup. She's not just talking makeup, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As listening to Danielle, what she's talking about is the beauty of you.
Yes.
She is talking about how to make you feel, and from the inside out, that you are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, if she uses product, she's also showing that she's a businesswoman. She's using product. Um, so Dan, tell us a little bit of what it's like a day in the life of you. Uh,
Whew. Whew.
let's talk. Let's pick a weekday. Let's talk a little bit
All right.
about. day with you. Like, what's that like from get up to resting my head on a pillow?
Oh man,
What's that?
Vans, I'm telling you. So, get up so early. One of my barbers that worked in my shop told me that you lose about 33 years of your life when you wake up after 9 a.m.
Hmm.
So, the goal was always to wake up early. I'm trying to get into the regimen of like waking up at 5 a.m., working out. Um, I'm on a weight loss journey. So I've been, like really big on health. Yes, health and wealth. Um, and, I dive right into it. So I literally get up, laptop, I'm in my office, and I dive right into it. But I also have a list of things every day that I need to do. And also another thing that I want to tell to these entrepreneurs too is when they ask you who do you want on your team, we talked about the A team. You know the next person, a life coach.
Mm-hmm.
A life coach is the person that is going to on these days that you're having, like the week that I've had, that literally said she said to me this morning, she said, you had a wonderful week, an amazing week. Today, I need you to relax, lay down, watch a movie, and enjoy you. Because we don't never, as entrepreneurs, we work every day. It's not as it's not as easy as everyone thinks. We work every day.
Right. Every.
So every day. So
Mm-hmm.
checking emails, figure out what where, because now I'm getting, I want to go into schools. I want to go get government contracts, and I want it to be big. So it's building that platform for it to be big and having people like you, where so I can share my story. Because remember, when we first met, I told you, I said, I've never shared my story. And the reason why I never shared my story was because everybody looked at me like a charity case. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And it was never that. Because I'm not a charity case and it's not an all moment. It's I'm going to do this. And
Powerful.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this regardless. And I'm a true believer that if you believe in yourself and you believe in what it is that you want to do, you're going to get it. So if you want to be that CEO, you're going to be that CEO. If you want to be that person that creates a teeth whitening strip line, you're going to be that person. So that's one thing that I'm saying to my girls now is whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe it's not makeup. Maybe it's something else.
Mhm.
But guess what? That can be you. So, like you said, no, it's not just about beauty. It's about everything in general because beauty is so broad. We're talking about, like when I say life skills, how to present yourself, how to show up, how to, take care of yourself as far as a woman is concerned, and even as far as for men as well.
Yes.
So, my day to day is constant Zooms, meetings, continuing education, product, of course. I'm looking for a new building to house a university, and and that's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going. And but I shut it off. So before, I used to work and I used to be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I just hung up with a girlfriend of mine's who has a home healthcare business, and they're going through like a whole big thing right now. But I used to cry on the phone to her. 4 o'clock in the morning, I would call her like, "Customs has my stuff, and I can't get it, and I don't know what I'm going to do." And and she would talk me through these things. And those are the people that you pay attention to. And they don't have to be your day ones, because I just met her 4 or 5 years ago. So your day ones are your day ones, but don't forget about your day twos. Don't be afraid to meet new friends. You know how the younger generation has this thing where it's like no new friends, no new friends. I don't want to meet nobody if they're not my day ones. No, because guess what? Your day ones are the people you grew up with, the people that you met on your journey, or the people that are going to take you to your next level, because now you have someone to relate to.
Right.
So there's a lot of like what I'm going through now is interpersonal communication, strengthening my skills, strengthening my ability because of my cognitive. Me reading stuff, it's hard for me to read large pages and comprehend. So I do a lot of audio. So I do Sudoku puzzles. I do things to,
Yes.
enhance and try to bring it back, because guess what? It's not, this is not the end all be all. And I'm not counted out. Regardless, friends, I was counted out at 15 years old when I had my daughter. I was told that, you know, you're going to be another statistic, this and that. And what happened? The recruiter from University of Pennsylvania came to my school to interview me and said, I want you. I want you. And I went, I'm like, I'm not going there. The school is boring. I'm not going there. And it was the best thing that it was the best thing that happened to me. So I'm not here to say that, don't go to school where people. Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you. It
Okay.
sounds like you said something very important. You said, I'm not here to, I want to get back to that message if you recall exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to get you back up on the screen. All right. Give me 1 second. Yeah. I can't get you back up on the screen.
I see you.
Oh, you do? You see me? That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Mhm.
If you see me, that's all that matters. But what were you saying?
So I wanted you to go back to sharing, you stopped talking for a second right um before you lost my picture on your side.
Hmm.
But you mentioned something and we kind of missed that. I felt it was important. I was asking you to reiterate that for us.
Okay, so I'm sorry because I was trying to do all of this and get you back up.
But
Where was I
that's
at?
okay. You were just explaining, just your day in, day out, and you were talking about, your telecommunications, you do Sudoku,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
getting back into
Mhm.
the cognitive skill sets, rebuilding those
Mhm.
things for yourself, which are very
Mhm.
important, from individuals who suffer from strokes, even concussions, friends.
Yes.
Concussions, I've had to go through that post-concussion syndrome and I still do it. And I actually feel like I'm addicted to it, but I think my brain just craves it. Like you crave
Yeah.
chocolate. And I do all kinds of puzzles, but it's good for you cognitively. So, but
Mhm.
you were just sharing that,
Yeah.
some of the things that
So
you
and it's not always easy. Especially coming from a world that I came from. It's not easy to be in these rooms. In the beginning I felt I wasn't as confident. When I went into I had a meeting the other day and I had this whole thing written out of what I was going to say, what I was going to do, and I got there in the meeting, friends, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be Danny because that's all I know how to be. I'm not going off of a script. I'm going to let you guys know what it is that I do, what it is that I can bring, and the value of what I'm going to bring to the world. Because I'm not just teens. This is everybody. Because my target is, all women, men, kids, women with disabilities, men with disabilities. I cover everybody. I cover bases for everybody. So it's a confidence building thing as well. And I say that because I had to do it myself. Like I said to my doctor, imagine, getting dressed up every day and doing what you want, and then one day you wake up and you can't even put lip gloss on. You can't even put lip gloss on. So it becomes you have your days. You have some days are good, some days are bad, but you just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. And the one thing you just don't do is never give up. Never give up. I don't care how hard the road gets. If you put on that manifestation list that you want to be a makeup artist, or that you want to own your own brand, or you want to get a piece of that 860 million that Rihanna made last year, you can do it.
you can
You
do
can
it.
do it. But you have to be able and willing to put in that work. It's about the grit.
Yes.
It's about the determination, and it's about the grit. And that's the one thing that we have to teach our children is just that. Because right now everything is at their fingertips.
Mhm.
Everything is at their fingertips. They have it even now where as though you can, all you got to do is talk into the iPhone and ask the question, and they'll give you the answer. We
Yeah,
didn't have that, so they
no,
make it very easy for them. They
they
make,
have a
but
lot
you
of
don't want the easy, because let me tell you something. The easy way out is not the good, is not the right way. The easy way, you want to take what Steve Harvey said. He said, I don't want to take the elevator. I'm gonna take the stairs.
mm,
So, and people like that are inspiring to me. I look at Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said that, in the beginning of his career, him and his family, they slept on a tent outside of their neighbor's home because they were so homeless. And he wrote himself a check for, I believe, don't quote me, was it 10 million? It might have been $5 million. And he wrote himself for a check and dated it for 5 years later and said, I'm going to be able to cash this check. And we
mm,
all know who Jim Carrey is, right?
that's right. If
Okay.
you don't know Jim Carrey, please
Yeah.
Google him. He is
Yes.
quite a comedian, but there's some depth to Jim Carrey as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Him and Tyler Perry as well.
Tyler
Tyler
Perry,
Perry is
a lot of history, a lot of stories with a lot of these actors, actresses, celebrities. They have some really depth, really good depth with their stories. But I want to go back. We're kind of running out. We're running out of time. I could just sit here and listen to you all day, Danny.
I know. I'm
But
so happy that I'm
I
so grateful for
so
this,
I
friends.
I just all I could hear is translation, Mission Possible, Mission Possible,
Mm-hmm.
Mission
Yeah.
Possible. And I asked my previous guests to say it, for them to say the mission is possible. I'm going to ask you to say it, Danny, because just that vibration, when you put it out there that it is possible, you can achieve it, the things that you want to manifest, the person whom you want to be, not discounting who you currently are and your new norms, that old you. There's nothing wrong with understanding that you have evolved. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about change. Change is constant. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Danny, if you can, please, if you could just say to my fans, to the friends out there in the
Mm-hmm.
world, globally, if you can just say the mission is possible, I'd
The
be.
mission is possible. And I'm not just saying this because friends is telling me to say this. I'm telling you guys this from
Mhm.
my own personal experience. I never thought that I would be where I am today,
And
but I
I
believe in it. And so the mission is possible.
I woke up with that because a lot of what I talked about was the bumped on course, and it's evolved into the mission is possible because you can be at such a high level in your career and wherever you are, but you still, and most of those individuals who are there always want something, maybe not necessarily bigger and better, but they want more. They want to challenge themselves to achieve the next thing, the next great thing. And you've already been amazing and great. But I
Mhm.
always say this mission is possible because I myself, I had chills when she say it because I have chills when I say it because I myself and many of you out there have had to go through some of the most horrible experiences or some great experiences that have gotten you to the space where you know what I'm talking about when I say the mission is possible.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just, and it's not just words. And I appreciate you saying, I'm not just saying it because Franz is asking me to say it.
Mhm.
I'm saying it because I'm a believer. I'm
Yeah.
proof. I am,
Mhm.
and you two are proof that the mission is possible. That's what it's about. It's about
Yes.
knowing that. It's about taking Bach, what I call Bach bumped on course. It's another
Mhm.
part of the Franz experience, and saying, that course, yeah, I've been bumped. I have been bumped. But
Mhm.
guess what? I'm still on course.
Mhm.
My course, this is my course. And
Mhm.
you know what? During that and throughout that course, the mission is possible. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to
Mhm.
work towards it.
Mhm.
Hey, Jim Carrey wrote that check, 10 million.
Yeah. Was it 10
The check
million?
I'm writing for myself.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
and I joke around because I love Jim Carrey. I love how he brings comedy because we need
Mm-hmm.
that. We need
Mm-hmm.
laughter and healing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but to get back to this, I just want to say I'm very grateful. I'm not going to get emotional. I'm just such an emotional creature,
Oh,
but
it's okay.
I'm just very grateful that I know that what you said today is going to touch so many. And, I think that people, gravitate towards you, just like they gravitate towards me and my clients.
Mm-hmm.
They share with me because they know my reason, who I am, my heart, everything about me just says share. There's a
Mm-hmm.
there's a
Yep.
reason why you're sharing. And through those connections and platforms, you're doing your thing. There's a reason why you said, okay, I'm going to put this down. I want to store on South Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Write it down. They
write it
they
down.
laugh at me in class. They laugh at me because they say, "You have books for days."
Mm,
I have books. Like literally, I can show you. Like I have these. I have books like these, and this is just not one.
mhm,
And I literally, when I think of something, I write it down.
mhm.
I write it down.
Yeah,
And because that's another thing about manifestation. Write it down.
yeah,
Write it down so that you can continue to
mhm,
relive it. I mean, rethink it and
yeah,
re-say it.
yeah,
Another thing is, gratitude. You got to practice gratitude. You can't always focus on the negative because trust me, trust and believe it's hurdles. But you can't focus on that. When you're on those days that you're feeling down, you got to get up and say, "What am I grateful for?" I'm
yeah.
grateful because I got breath in me. I'm
Mhm,
grateful because I woke up this morning.
mhm.
I'm grateful because they told me I wasn't going to walk or talk again, and I'm on a call with you.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So, you
Yeah.
know, practicing that gratitude is giving thanks and letting God know that, oh yeah, you got me and I know you got me. And I said this to someone a while ago. I said, I'm okay. And I'm gonna be okay. Because when I walk my walk, I walk like I got God right next to me.
Mhm,
And I know he got me.
mhm.
So I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Whatever way it goes, I'm gonna be okay. And you gotta believe that. And it's not being cocky. It's being confident. So like don't intertwine the two.
Yeah.
You could be confident in what it is saying because you believe. You believe. And when I say that I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, manifestation is real. Man, I am a living testimony of manifestation is real. And when you do it, believe that you can attain it.
You heard it here on the Franz Experience from Danielle McLane of Diamond Beauty Cosmetics. You heard her say manifestation. She was bumped on course. She believes the mission is possible, as I do, and she is proof, living proof.
Hmm.
I want to thank you. Thank you all for joining with us on the Franz Experience. Again, go ahead and follow us at www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you were definitely bumped on course and the mission is possible. I want to thank our guest, Danielle, for being,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
it was such a pleasure, such a moment that I knew it always is every time I speak with you.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
just get to share you with the world on
Hmm.
my platform. She has many platforms, but I get to share her on my platform, which I'm very grateful for. But Danny, thank you so much. And
Thank you so
everyone,
much, friends.
we will see you on the next episode of the Friends Experience.
Anytime. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.
Goodbye.